Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. For you that don't know me, my name is Chris, aka Mr. Grow It, and today I got a Q&A video for you. If this is your first time tuning into one of my Q&A videos, I record them live on Twitch every single month. So if you have questions, head on over to twitch.tv/Mr. Grow It, hit the follow button, make sure notifications are on, and the next time I go live, tune into it and you can ask questions. And if you do tune into one of the live streams and ask questions, they may be featured in a future video. Okay, now let's get into the questions. How many plants would you recommend in a 3x3 grow tent? And what setup, like pot size? 3x3, I would do 4 smaller plants, maybe 2 medium-sized plants, or 1 big plant in a 3x3. That's what I would do. As far as pot size, probably 3-gallon pots. You know, if you're keeping it with the smaller plants, 4 smaller plants in 3 gallons, or maybe even shove a 7-gallon in that 3x3 and just do 1 plant. Whatever you want to do, you can definitely have some flexibility there. When you pH your water, does it matter if you use a glass or plastic cup? I don't know if I fully understand your question. So when I pH my water, what I'm doing, I use a 5-gallon bucket, put the water in there, then I'm taking the pH up or pH down and then dropping it directly into the water. And that's a plastic bucket is what I use. Now I'm not sure, maybe you're asking if it's a nutrient solution inside that 5-gallon bucket. Then what I'll do what they say is dilute the pH up and pH down first in water and then pour it in the nutrient solution so you don't have precipitants. And so I just put it into a little glass of water, pH up, pH down, mix it in there, and then put it into the bucket of nutrient solution. Hope that answers your question. Mr. Grow It asks, what is a good bagged soil besides the one you use in your videos? Well, shout out to our sponsor, Happy Hydro. They sell Sohum Living Soil. Really, really good product. OMRI certified organic. This is what a lot of people consider as a super soil. Now, of course, it's going to depend on the size of container that you're using, but a lot of people are actually planting into this soil and then growing their entire plant all the way up till harvest without adding any other nutrients in there. So big shout out to Happy Hydro. If you buy from them, it's a 1 to 3 day shipping on their product. So it can get to you pretty quickly depending on where you are in the States. Definitely have a link to Happy Hydro down in the YouTube description section below. How long did it take you to dial in your organic growing? I like this question. So when I first started using organic inputs, I was using Earth Dust Nutrients by the Green Sunshine Company. Rest in peace. That brand is no longer exists. They closed the door in the end of 2022. I'm not sure if you guys knew about that or not, but that's a bummer. But I didn't know that you should be keeping the medium moist at all times for those amendments to break down. That's something I've been talking about for so much over the years since I've learned that and been doing that. But people still make that mistake is they'll top dress those nutrients in, water them in, and then they'll go right to what they were doing with synthetics where they have dry backs. You know, they'll wait for the medium to dry out before watering again. Well, with organics, unfortunately, the microbes go dormant and then they're not breaking down nutrients. So keeping that medium moist, keeping those amendments moist. It took me a few grows to really realize that and dial things in. I do want to get my hands on a moisture meter though. That should make things a lot easier. Blue Mat actually has their company name is Sustainable Village. They have a nice digital moisture meter I'm trying to get my hands on. I think it's like $85 or something like that. But if I can get one of those, I can dial in waterings a lot better. And then of course, adding in the Blue Mats, that helps dial in the moisture level. But yeah, that was the main thing in regards to dialing in organic growing, was just dialing in that moisture of the medium. No-till or super soil, and what's the difference? So super soil is generally just a soil that has all the nutrients needed in it for the entire grow. So like I just mentioned, Sohum Living Soil, they consider it a super soil where basically you just take that whole bag, put it into, I believe, a 7-gallon container for like a 1.5 cubic foot bag, and then plant the seed in there. And then, you do a 30-day veg or so. Once you flip over the flower, there should be enough nutrients to last throughout the entire grow. No-till is just basically not disturbing the soil at all. You're basically just adding on amendments up to that top of the soil and you're not like disturbing it at all. So 2 different things there. And no-till is a very common practice these days, particularly with organics, because you've got the microbes in there that are working for you to break down nutrients. And if you're disturbing the soil at all, you're killing off microbes. So a lot of people are going towards no-till. If you could go back and give beginner Chris one tip, what would it be? It would probably be learn what nitrogen toxicity is. Because beginner Chris overfed and had nitrogen toxicity and wiped out a grow, wiped out 5 plants that came out terrible because of nitrogen toxicity. So beginner Chris, learn what nitrogen toxicity is. If you have very dark leaves and they're shiny, and they're curling, then that's most likely nitrogen toxicity. And always check the ppm or EC, so that way you're not overfeeding. Zaza Genetics asks, how are things going with your chill out OG? Going pretty good on the F3s right now. So inbreeding, learned a lot from you, Zaza. I hope you know that. Doing the inbreeding. So I'm on F3s right now. I'm going to be planting the F3s and seeing how they turn out. But so far so good. I'm getting the structure I'm looking for. Overall, I'm looking for kind of the smaller structure plant. Bud structure of the Brisker OG. It's actually a Brisker OG crossed with the Pakistan Valley. The Pakistan Valley is a landrace strain actually by World of Seeds. So kind of the smaller structure, indica side of things of the Pakistan Valley, the bud structure of the Brisker OG, and kind of a mixture of the terp profile is what I'm looking for. But yeah, so far it's going pretty good. Long process for this. And I know there's tons of people have been asking me for them. It's just not ready. Should be ready this year though. Fingers crossed. What are your go-to dry amendments? In most recent years, I've just been using the Build-A-Soil Craft Blend. I've talked about this on my channel a handful of times, large handful of times, but that's actually has everything you need in order to get through the grow. And it's just one mix, one blend for the entire grow. So it's not a separate one for veg and a separate one for flower is what I'm getting at. And I'll do an initial amending. I was using a 7-gallon container, 1 cup of Build-A-Soil Craft Blend, amending it in to begin, letting it cook for a week, 2 weeks, planting into there, letting the plant grow. 30 days after the plant sprouted from the medium, 20 to 30 days. I'm adding in another cup per plant. And then really every 30 days, just cup per plant onto the medium, top dressing it in, and that's it. So that's been my go-to. As far as other amendments, alfalfa meal, kelp meal, use once in a while. I've used Grokashi. I like that for breakdown. I like putting that in my compost bin as well, my worm bin. Insect frass, another amendment I like to use. That's all I can think of off the top of my head here. Yeah, all that stuff is really good. What are you looking forward to growing the most in 2023? I like this question. So I'm actually about to start a new run. Right now I've got a Cherry Atomic Sledgehammer by Welcome to the Grow Tent, doing really well. I've got a Vanilla Cola F1 by Cannabinology. That's also doing really well. Those are going to be harvested within 2 to 3 weeks. I'm really excited about both of those. My next run I have right here, I have a whole list of things. Let's just go over it. We can, right? Romberry by Freedom of Seeds. Don't know too much about that. Ended up being a freebie from Attitude. My old roommate had it, never grew it, gifted it to me. Might as well plant it. Runts by Homegrown Co. Amnesia Fast by Seedsman. Sour Grape Rock Candy by Welcome to the Grow Tent. All those 4 that I just mentioned are femmes, so guaranteed female as long as they sprout. Sometimes they don't have a good male-female ratio, so I wanted to throw some femmes in there to make sure I get some. The rest of these are going to be regular, so they could be either male or females. I might plant them, grow them, and have to kill them off because they end up being males. But Chill Out OG by Mr. Grow It, that's the F3. And grow that out. Peyote Purple with a cross of ISO 8 by Prism Labs, ISO 8 by Prism Labs, Curb Stomper by Prism Labs, Rubik's by Prism Labs, Orange Cello by Prism Labs, Icarus Wings by Prism Labs. They sent me their whole line a while ago, and I've been trying to get a female out of the Rubik's, Orange Cello, and Icarus Wings, but I haven't had any luck there. I've grown out the Curb Stomper and ISO 8, and those have been freaking fire. And huge shout out to Chronic 420 Inc. He is a well-known breeder, formerly of North Genetics. Now he's on Prism Labs doing his own thing, and just everything I've had from him has been fire. So big shout out to him. And then last but not least, Dead Ops OG crossed with Persian Prince. I've grown out the Dead Ops OG before. Fire. Love it. Still have some in the can control right there. Thank you so much for watching this Q&A video. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel also if you haven't done that already. And don't forget to follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/MrGrowIt. And when I go live next, tune in, hang out, ask some questions. To continue watching these Q&A videos, click the video right here on the screen, and I'll catch you guys in the next Q&A video. Peace out, everyone.